Many thanks to all the participants. I'm Joris Bommers. I'm part of the board of IIBA Brussels chapter. Um, let's say, I know a little bit. I combine myself with the things that have to do with certification education. And I'm going to present you the certification framework. So, what certifications are available, and what is the process that you have to go through to take the exam and become a certified IBA. So,
Perhaps a practical matter before we continue, sorry, Joris.
yes,
I propose if someone has a question, just write it down in the chat. Perhaps that would be the easiest. That way, yours can continue his presentation, and I will monitor for any questions on the chat. That way, yours can continue his flow, if that's okay with everyone.
okay, that's fine. That's fine for me. I'm just struggling with moving forward. Okay, so good. The framework itself, so the certifications that are available from IIBA, the International Institute of Business Analysis. So it's a multi-level framework, so multi-levels of certifications, and they are competence-based, so they will build up. So first you will see it's more knowledge, and it's a bit of experience, it's more experience. It's level in a couple of minutes. So it supports the progression of your career. So if you move on through your career, and what is, let's say, important for the value of the certification itself is that it is validated by the global community, and that it follows certain standards on certification. So it's not out of the blue that this comes. It's really validated monitoring. The first level is the ECBA. That is, let's say, it's more like a learning phase. So it's the first level. It's an entry level. It's on knowledge. So you know what the BABOK is about. You know the terminology. You know the principles. For this level of certification, you don't need any work experience. So it's really knowledge-based exam. And, there is stated as no recertification. You will see that the other levels have recertification. And let's say it's a bit logical since they build up in, let's say, the experience that you have. So the first level, just the entry level. So you're learning what business analysis is all about. The second level is CCBA, so the certification of capability in business analysis. That is more results oriented, so you know what business analysis is and you can apply it with some guidance, and you have, let's say, some level of experience. So it's stated there 3 years of work experience. The exam in itself is a little bit more difficult. Depends on, let's say, what your personal let's say preference is, but this is more scenario based. So the first one was really multiple choice, and here we have certification. So this is somebody is really doing the business analysis work, and let's say we will go in more detail on, let's say, what those bullets mean. And then the top level is this CBAP. It's the certified business analysis professional. So that is somebody that really has an advanced knowledge. He can apply, he can adjust, he's coaching people. So it's really the experienced person. As you can see, they ask for 5 years or more experience in business analysis. The exam in itself is case study, so it's not the scenarios where you have little descriptions. So here it's really, you get a bigger case where you have to evaluate, let's say, what the answers would be, and also, let's say, the answers. It's a weighted score that you will get, and also here we have recertification. So this is just the introduction. So we have 3 levels. And we have a learning phase. We have somebody that is doing it. And so he knows what it's all about. He's not, let's say, the most experienced. So it's doing it. It's in its progressing phase. And then we have the lead, the CCBA, with the advanced person who can, let's say, manage a team of business analysis consultants who can cope with complex environments and take the appropriate decisions. Okay, so the competencies and the proficiency levels. So here, well, a little bit of summary, what we said before. So the ECBA, the entry level, so it's a basic knowledge. We know what it is all about. It's awareness. We know the terminology. We know the knowledge areas, those things. We understand what we have to do, and we follow the rules that are given by others. So we really follow, and we are, let's say, in the learning phase. The CCBA is applying the knowledge that he acquired before. He's making some recommendations on his experience, how we can improve certain things, and he tries to modify. So he's not just following; he tries to modify and apply, really in real life. Let's say what this means, business analysis. And then we have the CMAP. That is really the advanced person. He has throughout knowledge. He's fully developed the skills. He's using this day in, day out, and he's really creating the rules. He's really setting the scene, setting the guidelines, how we do projects, not really the project, but the business analysis. So how we align this to get, let's say, the maximum out of the projects, to start the correct projects and those things. So that is, let's say, the 3 levels, how they are, let's say, aligned with each other, how they build up, and how they are scoped. Now we go to, let's say, the timelines and the process. So there is a process in how you apply for a certification. So the horizontal bar is, let's say, a time scale. And at a certain moment, you want to apply for a certification. So there are 2 levels. So you apply for the certification, and then you, let's say, you do the exam itself. So we first talk about applying for it. And so you have to fill in an application. And there, before you do this, you have to gain the required experience. As was mentioned there, you need to be able to prove to 2 to 3 years experience, 5 years experience, depending on what level of certification you want to do. So you have to gain this, let's say, this knowledge and these experiences. And for the application, you can go back for training 4 years. For the experience, 5 to 10 years. You will see 7 years. There it's, but for training, so the personal development hours, then you can go back 4 years. And what are the requirements for applying for a certification? So if you look to the first column, the ECBA, their work experience, you don't need it, and knowledge area experience, you don't need it either. So you will see in the other, let's say, levels what this means. So what you really need here is knowledge of the BABOK. You have to understand what it is. Let's say an academical point of view. You have to understand the BABOK. You have to know the terminology. You can apply it. Those things you know the underpinning concepts, and that is what you need. You don't need any references either in your application. So the only thing that you have to prove is that you have 21 hours of professional development over the last 4 years. And those you can get from attending seminars, reading books, a lot of things in ECBA. They're not really very strict in it. You can do this with self-paced and a lot of things. It's very good. Once we go over to the CCBA and the CBAP, it's much more strict. So there they come to, you have to prove work experience. Oh, just I think that was not needed. So you need to be able to prove that you worked 3,750 hours according to the BABOK. So you did tasks, functions that are in line with what is written in the BABOK. So in the BABOK you have the knowledge areas, and in the knowledge areas you will have you see tasks areas where you have to work in, where you have to do work. So you'll have to prove that you worked over the last 7 years 3,750 hours, which is around 1/3 of an FTE. So it's a 35% that you have to prove that you worked really as business analysis, business analyst. And then we go down. So in the knowledge areas, at least 2 times 900 hours have to be out of 2 knowledge areas out of the 6, or you can spread it over 5 knowledge areas where you need at least 500 hours. So those minimums are not enough to reach your 3,750 hours. But what this means is you cannot be, let's say a very good business analysis only in requirements analysis. That is not possible. You need to have, let's say, a broader knowledge over the knowledge areas that are defined. Then professional development units. So here again, it's 21 hours. It's a 3-day course. Now here it starts to be a little bit different, and it's the same for CBAP. So it's not just anything. It needs to be a course that is given by an endorsed education provider. So they have recognized courses. So if you attend one of them, you will get you can get your credits. It can be a web-based training, which is recognized by IIBA. It can be, let's say, seminars or study groups or those things if there is a knowledge check. So first of all, you need, let's say, this interaction part. The second part is that there needs to be a knowledge check. So there needs to be, let's say, some type of questions and answer where, let's say, the one that is organizing can evaluate that you understood and that you get it, the knowledge that was presented. You have to give at least 2 references, and the 2 references, they need to be current, meaning that you know them, preferable, well, that you work for them, preferable in the last 6 months, at least one of them 6 months. The other one, I would say, not longer than 2 years. You can have 3, 4, since they ask for work experience over 7 years. So of course, it can be, you can have more references if you want to, but they really want names and contact details of 2 persons. And of course, you need this to sign the code of conduct. For CBAP, so the more advanced, the most advanced certification level, there you have to prove 7,500 hours over 10 years. So that is at least 50% of your time is spent on business analysis. And you have to prove at least 900 hours in 4 of the knowledge areas. There, the professional development is a little bit higher, so it's 35 hours over the last 4 years again. And as said before, so there, let's say it's a lot more stricter than this ECBA, where it's really very open, where you got let's say, your professional development hours. In CCBA and CMAP, it's really, you need to have some sort of interaction with, let's say, an instructor or the possibility to have it, and you need a knowledge. And again, 2 references and signing the code of conduct. Good. So on the process, so there is an online application on the website where, let's say, well, I will, just a minute. Do you see my IIBA, the IIBA webpage?
Yep.
Yes, okay. So, well, I'm already logged on, so to not lose any time on that part. So here, do you see welcome, your e-commerce? You open it, you go to your profile. Did he do it? Yes, he did it. And you go to the profile, and then you go to certification. I don't have any certifications, but I'm thinking this is correct. No, it was not certification. Wait a moment. Oh. IBA, thanks for the Cisco. This is not one. It's, where was it? Found it yesterday. Membership benefits, no. So here, well, my IIBA, it's probably my IIBA, no. Membership certification. Well, I will look for it afterwards, and let's say I will surely tell you where it is. So in here, well, I thought it was, and I will do it again. You have to go, or what is behind here? You have to go to your, no, the dashboard. The dashboard, sorry. IVA certification, my membership, volunteer authentication provider, so it's not this one. Sorry guys, I will show you, or I will let you know afterwards where it is. So the application, so it's an online application, and with regards to your work experience, you can enter this up front. So you enter it, and you can, let's say, calculate all your hours. Now Stefan will give a separate presentation, let's say with an Excel that he created for his certification, where you can put all your work experience and you get all calculations from. That part you can enter up front. The professional development hours and your references, and of course signing the code of conduct, you can only do on, let's say, well, really applying, which is putting the application in your basket and paying for it. You can do it at that moment or after. You can enter those let's say items. Oh, I clicked too much. So there you put in your work experience, and there you have to pay attention to what it is. I will come back to it quickly afterwards. You have to put in your 2 references, and you have to put in your professional development units, and then you have to submit your application. Then it can be or in, let's say, an audit mode, so that they are, let's say, looking at your application, and maybe they will verify certain things. And otherwise it becomes approved, yes or no. And so it can be in an auditing statement, or it is approved, yes or no. If it is not approved, then let's say you have to reapply, and that is quite, let's say, quite simple. You go to the online application, and you will get some feedback why you are not accepted. You go to the online application, you adapt your work experience, or you have to find other professional development units since they didn't accept certain of those that you entered, or one of your references gave not so good, let's say, feedback, which of course is something that you have under control. So you have to adapt the application, you have to pay again, and then let's say this process starts again. Weekly for reference procedure. So if you put somebody as a reference, so I enter this, let's say, as a fake one. So that person, he will get an email with the subject IIBA certification reference with your name. And then it will state there, here, John the reviewer, this person requested for some type of certification level, and the person has to click this link. Once he clicks this, he will get a list, because it could be more persons that ask for, let's say, to be a reviewer for them. And you have to select the name, and then you have to enter your own details, or you have to review them. Part of them will be entered, some other you have to enter. And then, let's say, you have to score the person on, let's say, the areas where they ask here. And so business analysis, planning, elicitation, collaboration. So you will recognize those things. They have to do with business analysis. It's the knowledge areas. It's underpinning concepts which are very important. So you have to score the persons. 1 is a high score, 4 is a low score. Tell your people, your referencee, tell them this, or ask if you can join them when they do, let's say, this evaluation, so that they don't score you badly, just by coincidence that 1 is the high and 4 is low, where in most of the cases it's low. And then you have to complete a little bit other difference about the reference, about the company and who are you and in which relation were you with those person, and did he perform well? Yes. But this gives you an idea what a person that you put in your application as a reference, what they will get and what they will have to do. Good. Now we go back to this presentation. So we are approved. So that is good. Hello, let us assume we are approved. Then we come into phase 2. So you still have to do the exam to become certified. So, well, I state here, prepare and take the exam. So the preparation probably comes before. So you start really preparing for it before. But you have 1 year to take the exam 3 times. So first 1 time, and you can retake it, and you can resit 2 times in 1 year. You have to pay attention. There is no, let's say, no delay time between the exams, so you can do it today and you can do it tomorrow. But keep in mind that, let's say, first of all, you have 1 year, and that you can take the exam 3 times, not more. So, yeah. So be prepared. I would say up front, take it well in time, study again if you don't succeed, so that you can make, let's say, good use of this time.
Okay, Joris, you have a question in the meantime from Saartje. The question she asked is, do you have to pay to get approval, or do you have to pay after the approval?
No, you have to pay when you submit the application. So it's not after, let's say, the approval. So you pay for the application. You will see that a couple slides later. You pay for the application, and you pay for the exam. So it's 2 times. It's different. So, but and you have to, let's say, buy at your validity to submit the application. your application, and then you also have to pay for taking the exam. Then the exam in itself. What type of exam is it? So I already said, well, it's ECBA is knowledge, and CCBA is scenario-based, and CBAP is case study. So here we have more details. So the ECBA, it's knowledge-based, so it's multiple choice. It's only on knowledge that is in a BABOK, so there is no, let's say, waiting. You don't get a case, so it's really straightforward questions with the multiple choice answer. You get an hour and a half, and you get 50 questions. The CBAP is scenario-based. Scenario-based is a scenario is, let's say, a description of, I would say, maximum 5 lines, 3, 4, 5 lines. You get a little bit of a description of something, and then you get, let's say, a multiple choice answer that you answers that you have to select, let's say, the best, and so it's weighted at that moment. That exam will take 3 hours. It's 130 questions, and well, yeah, I said it's 2 to 4 sentences, multiple choice answers, and so a little description, a scenario, little description, and you get multiple choice answers. CBAP is case study. So the case study, you get a case study of a couple of pages, and you will get 120 questions on it, all multiple choice answers, and it takes 3 hours and a half. So that is the different type of exams. And so the exams are getting, well, depending on your personality, of course, but they're getting a little bit more different. Scenario-based, case study-based, they can be very nasty. So they're really testing on experience. How do you evaluate the situation? They put a weight on the answers. Then what do they test you on? So the blueprint of the exam. So if you look to the BABOK, so you have the knowledge areas, and then you have business analysis knowledge, which is the underpinning concepts and techniques and a lot of things that you have to possess as a business analyst. In the CCBA, so as said, it's on knowledge, so you have to know what is in the BABOK. They will also take, let's say, some tests. So there is some weight on the business analysis knowledge, so on underpinning concepts and key concepts and business analysis MBA professional. So they will put some questions on that, on the techniques. Once we go to the CCBA and the CBAP, they will not test you anymore on business analysis knowledge. They will really test you on the knowledge areas and your competence in there. So how competent are you? And the more you evolve to the CBAP, so if you look at the CCBA, the CBAP, and the CCBA and the CBAP, if you look to the percentages, they will focus more on strategy, planning, evaluation. They become more important, where in the beginning it's more like requirements gathering and the life cycle of it. Where if you look to the CBAP, it will be about business analysis, planning, and strategy analysis, and also the solution evaluation will become much more important. So there is, let's say, it's a different example. Now, so we got approved. So what do we have to do? At a certain moment, you have to pay to take the exam. Then you can register for it. So you apply for a certain date. You register for a date. You take the exam. If you pass, it's over. If you have the unchance, or if you are the unlucky one that you didn't pass, then you have to pay again, and then you can reschedule and take the exam again. As said, you have 12 months for 3 exams. So the first one and 2 retakes. And then on the timeline, so once you've taken the exam and you passed, you come into the third time period of the certification, which is you are certified for 3 years and then you have to recertify. And that is, let's say, another process. Just have a look. I don't think I have in my main presentation something on it, but if you want, I can show you something on it. Going back one, the ECBA, so the entry-level certification you have for life. So you're just testing your knowledge on the BABOK. If you come to CCBA and the CBAB, there it's about experience and the knowledge, really knowledge, applying knowledge that you have and that you can show. It's only valid for 3 years. And after 3 years, you have to, well, reapply, you have to. It's not really an exam, but you have to compile a file with proof that you have done the work and that you attended some seminars or a lot of things. Let's say there are a lot of possibilities, but and you have to prove them. About the cost, the exam fees. So here you see at the first, let's say, line is application fee. So just for applying for the certification, you have to pay for it. And there is no difference between member and non-member IIBA. So for applying, you pay the $60 or the $125, and they will look at your application. If they don't, let's say, accept, so if they don't approve your application, you have to repay this application fee. Once it is approved, so from the day of approval, you get your 12 months, and then you can take the first exam. And you see here line 2 and 3. So exam fee and retake. So there is a difference in the first exam and the retake. There you pay the exam and then you can schedule it. So and this is valid, of course, for the period that your application is valid. So you can pay them upfront. And there is a difference between being member of IIBA and non-member. So looking at the price difference here of being member and non-member, strongly advise that you, even just for this year, you become member. This will, let's say, it will pay itself back. You will, from the discount, your membership will be paid, and you will get access to a lot of information which can help you through your certification process. And just for let's say the reference, the recertification fees, and so it's only when you get the certification 3 years later, and there is also let's say a fee to pay, which is different between members and non-members. So the members always pay a little bit less. Certification bodies. So where do you where do you take the exam? ECBA is PSI. It's an online examination body, and then CCBA and CBAB are prometric. But then I still have to verify what it is and if it will be available and when. I saw something that there, let's say, is a possibility to also take this online. So that means you can take it from wherever you are. It's proctored with webcam, and your PC is blocked. Application blocks the screen of your PC. For the rest, you have to take the webcam home.
Indeed. This is indeed available also for the other 2 levels now since the beginning of this year. So this is something new and quite good, actually.
Yeah. It's what I thought, but I didn't have time to look for the details. But I saw this passing, which is good. it's an advantage. It's easier to take it from home than going somewhere where there is a prometric center and then present yourself and sitting there. So it's a lot easier if you can do it on ease from home. So that are the certification levels that exist and the process. So we have ECBA, entry level, CBAP, a couple of years experience, and then the CBAP is the advanced person, which has a lot of experience. And you have to add work experience, at least 50% over 10 years. It's it's quite a lot of experience that you have to prove. Think at the end, what else? With regards to work experience, so the work experience has to align with knowledge areas and tasks in the BABOK. So the easiest thing is to take the BABOK and look to the knowledge areas and the tasks that are in there, and describe whatever you have done with those titles or something that looks like that, so that's very recognizable, and that there is no doubt about it. For example, attending a training is not recognized as work experience. Also, giving training is not recognized as experience. Writing a training, so creating a training is. Coaching people is. It's a question on how you describe it. Doing project management or doing regular project reviews and project feedbacks. So communicating on a project is not recognized as a BA task or as work experience. If you describe it as giving feedback on the requirements evolution or evaluating requirements against risks and those things, which is in a lot of cases the same. Then you can, let's say, simply report on the project evaluation, or you can evaluate on the risks or in the evolution, and then all of a sudden it is. So there, pay attention, but there, Stefan will do another session, and he will, let's say, speak. Then, apart from those standard 3 certifications, there are 2 extensions. So IIBA is working on, let's say, other areas which align with business analysis, and there we have already, let's say, signed an HR extension where best practices, methodologies, techniques are described, how you use them, how you can use them in the area of business analysis. So how they align with each other. So there are some documents around it, and there is a certification. So it's also, well, it's not knowledge areas, it's domains, but it's also, let's say, specified how you do this. And then there is a second extension, which is data analytics, which is very important. It could be. So there is a special certification on data analytics. But those ones, surely not for the study group. But the other 3, they can be of, let's say, of interest. Are there any questions? That is,
oh my God, okay.
Process how it works.
We have a question from Wannes in the chat. Wannes asks, where's the chat? Will this BABOK study group count as personal development?
For the ECBA, yes. If somebody wants to apply for CCBA or CBAP, then let us know, because then you need a knowledge check, which is currently not in there, as far as I know. Robin, correct me if I'm wrong. I was not in the setup of this study group.
Honestly, I don't know, to be very frank with you, Joris. I know some study groups can get recognized, so we need a formal recognition, but I doubt that this is the case for us. I know Christophe was chasing this with IIBA, but I don't think this is the case.
So
sorry.
for the ECBA, the entry level, yes, for sure, 100%. For the two others, there it depends on, let's say, how, let's say, we as a group set up this the study. But there, of course, if you need to do a knowledge check, then there's a little bit work to do. But let's say, well, I can assist on it. You can take that offline, Robin, if let's say if that is needed. If some persons are interested in taking that study, you can look into how we, let's say, make it, let's say, make it available for PDUs. On the other side, we also, you also have to take into account it's not enough for the 21 or the 35 units that you need at the 21 or 35 hours that you need to obtain. So you need something else as well.
Okay. In the meanwhile, I see we have another question from Saartje. No, she said, sorry, these are two questions, okay?
Sorry.
Always a difficult one, you, eh? No.
Moment, I'm going to fix it.
No, it's all right. So, Joris, what did you mean with a knowledge check? In the presentation, you said that you can only take the exam 3 times. Is this 3 times per year?
It's 3 times per year, yeah. So in the 12 months, so at the moment your application is approved, so you are accepted. So then your 12 months start counting. And in those 12 months, you can take the exam 3 times. If you take, for example, the exam in first 2 months, you have to wait till your 12 months are over before you can start the process again. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And so there, take the 12 months, use them good and well. I honestly hope for all of you, if you want to do it, that you don't have to retake it 2 times. Pay attention that you really are blocked with those 12 months. So, yeah, you can apply. Well, you can apply for another level of certification. So let's say you apply for the CCBA, and let's say you don't pass, you can still apply within 12 months for ECBA or even for CBAB, but probably you will miss the work experience because otherwise you would have done it from the first time. But for the CCBA, where you applied first for, you have to wait till the 12 months are over to reapply. If you don't pass the exam in the...
The first part of Sartje's question, what did you mean exactly with a knowledge check, Joris?
Knowledge check. Did I say knowledge check?
Yeah, I think regarding to the CCBA and CBAB level, that actually is in order for training to be recognized.
Yeah. Well, knowledge check. Let's say you need to prove. You need to prove first work experience. And so you, in the application, you have to say, I worked for company XYZ, and I did. Let's say I was in that role, and I did those tasks, and I spent so many hours. So it's really with, let's say, in quarters of an hour, I think. That you have to declare, let's say, all the hours, all those hours that are specified here. And they have to be balanced over the knowledge areas. Then, in the exam, there the exam is, here, the exam is set up to test really that you can apply that knowledge, that you have that experience. So they and that is why they give you scenario-based questions and for the CBAB case study. And so that is really a check. Do you have the experience on? Because I'm thinking about this knowledge check. On the knowledge check, it was maybe about ECBA. So ECBA is really, do you understand? So there it's also mentioned knowledge-based. It's really, do you understand? Do you know what is in the BABOK? Do you know the vocabulary? Do you know the terms? For example, in SWOT, what does ST mean? So it's strengths and threats, those things. But of course, it will be more complex than that. But it's really knowledge. You can learn it from the book. You know your BABOK by heart, and let's say the ECBA you will pass. CCBA and CBAB, and there, well, the C with Stefan, which I was the first CBAB in Belgium. He had a lot of experience in business analysis. Ask him. Really, the exam is they go after your experience, so they give you in that case study or in those scenarios, they will give you let's say live cases, and you have to evaluate what can I do? What is the best decision? So they will really test this experience part. Is that an answer?
Sarah just says yes.
Okay, thank you.
And she even says thank you. Okay, I have another question from Pierre-Yves Monin. CBAB 900 hours for 4 knowledge areas means 900 divided by 4, right? I don't think so. I think it's really 900 per.
Yeah, it's 900 each.
Yep. No, in fact, with this, so there are 6 knowledge areas, as you know by now, and for the CBAB level, they're really going to look. You can choose yourself which 4 knowledge areas you want to have as a minimum 900 hours. But yeah, you really need at least 900 hours in at least 4 knowledge areas. This actually
you need at least let's say 900 in let's say in 4 knowledge areas, which is 3,600, which is only halfway of what you have to prove. So you still have a lot of, let's say, liberty in where you spend, but it cannot be that you only know, if you go for CBAB, it cannot be that you only have experience in, let's say, in 2 areas. So that is what they, let's say, want to see here in your work experience, so that you have, let's say, a balance between the knowledge areas that you did.
Also, what we have foreseen, but that's more towards the final stages, let's say, of the study group, that I know Stefan, he made last year sort of an Excel matrix that helps to calculate the work experience.
Yep.
So this is something that we will make available to the members of the study group who wish to certify themselves.
Yeah, certify themselves. So that is indeed the Excel sheet that I talked about. You can do this immediately online in the application, but then you will not get, let's say, a report on it. So you still have to calculate it. So it's better that you do it in a spreadsheet that Stefan created so that we over the time. Also with the experience that we have, like things you have to pay attention to. As I said, pay attention to how you describe the tasks that you have done. Also, if you have a project, they will find it difficult to believe that you worked 100% as a business analyst on a project. So there, I think we put a threshold at 80 or 90%, and then the Excel sheet warns you that you go over, let's say a normal 80 hours work week. If you go over the 80 or 90% spending on BA tasks, and that is for the simple reasons that you will have administrative work to do as well. And those things, but they're all in, let's say, in that Excel sheet, and Stefan will explain that one, how it works. So you put in the organizations, the projects, the, the tasks, you select the knowledge areas, you put time in there, and he will make, let's say the Excel sheet will make the calculations, and we'll also put the red flags like you didn't meet, let's say, the 4 times 900 hours. You have 7,500, no issue, but you didn't meet the 4 times 900, or on this project, you're over, let's say, this 90%, which is, if it's a big project, difficult to believe. So that you don't get trapped on those, because it's very easy to control, and they do this on site.
Okay. Any other questions? I don't think I missed one in the chat. No? Okay. Then, well, thank you for joining already this info session, and thank you, Joris, for having taken the time to give this really detailed explanation. I think the session has been recorded, so I'll check with Philip on how to save it and how to make it available on Slack. Anyway, there might be a follow-up session, so if you have any group members that did not attend or were not able to attend, so I'll see how I'll do it. Either I'll repeat again the message, the upcoming physical meetup of the study group, or I'll send another email, I don't know what. But we might organize a second session such as this one, so to give everyone the opportunity to learn what the certification scheme is from IIBA. And then more towards the end of the study group, we'll again try and organize a session with those really interested to apply for a certification level. And then we can discuss how to calculate the work experience, what counts as working hours, some other administrative questions regarding certification, and so forth. Voila. Is that okay?
For me, that's fine.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is a second time with pleasure, and I will also try to attend one of the study groups.
Mm-hmm. The sandwiches at the context, they were fantastic, I have to say. So
okay. It's a motivation part.
Voila, indeed. Okay. I think on that note, I think we can conclude for tonight. If you have any other questions, maybe later on, one channel, Slack, multiple channels on Slack, but this is the easiest way to reach out to us. Voilà. I hope you found it very interesting, and voilà, wish you best of luck with the study group, the certification, and voilà, the upcoming weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Many thanks for attending. Good luck.
Okay, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.